you make the most progress in your business when you do the one thing that you fear the most. Yeah, I was teaching 26, 27 years, and I thought, yeah, it's time for change. I want to take my career in a different direction. And so I retired from teaching, and then I've always had this like love for technology and this like love for coaching, and I just really want to help out the students as much as possible. So I'm based just outside of London, all right? It's raining outside right now. And yeah, I've been putting this program together for, I would say, a good year. And so again, it's all just got to do with just following the proven framework that Elliot uses.
Yeah, I think it's really cool to understand. We've said this a bunch of times, Graeme, where it's like, you know what? We are the Jeeps here. We show you how to get from point A to point B, right? You are in that car and you have access to the steering wheel. You have access to that accelerator pedal. And it's about putting your foot on the gas, or if you're in an electric car, putting it down and just like shooting off in the directions that we're telling you to go. And sometimes that's the hardest thing, is just following that plan moving forward. Can you fill us in a little bit more, Graeme? Because I know you said you were in the classroom for 20 years. Did you see a lot of things changing? Because I know that that's what we hear from a lot of teachers right now, is that, man, what they're asking us to do, not having the freedom to create your own curriculum, not having the ability to coach the way you want to coach. Were you starting to see those things when you were in the classroom too?
I was, and I think, it's been going on for a while. And this is kind of like the DNA of my company, is that I just see this huge disparity in education. And on one side, you've got those students that, they have the quality teachers, the quality tutors, and the resources, and those that don't. And it doesn't matter which type of school that they go to. Kyle, in the UK, you've got faith-based, private, public, state. It doesn't matter. And then on the other side of it, I saw students that just didn't have like the right mindset, and I'm a coach myself, and they didn't have the right mindset. And it's like, if they believed that they couldn't possibly achieve like a top grade in A-level chemistry, would be like an A star, or those that couldn't. And so I'm seeing this, and I'm seeing, the schools, they were just like stuck in just like paper and pencil is the best for us. And the technology was not something really, I would say, being implemented in the way that it should have been implemented, for like the modern generation of students. All right. And so this is what I saw. And I saw parents getting frustrated. I was on too many parent evening conversations, and the parents getting frustrated. The child is not getting the grades that they should have been gotten. They're like true potential. And I always think, I'm a huge movie buff, Kyle, and I always root for the underdog. And it's like, you know what, there's got to be something that we can do as teachers. There's got to be something that we can do to help level the playing field. And if everybody has the same exact quality education and the access to academic coaching, then they can go ahead and they can do whatever they want to do. And this is why I just thought, you know what, rather than just like keep on thinking about this, because I worked in London and I was on the tube, train, all right, and I thought, well, rather than like thinking about this every day, let's go take some action and make a difference. And so this is where I came, with the idea of my tutoring and with the company and putting it together.
I love that. And I can just tell, just like talking to you, Graeme, like your heart for the students and for them to grow, not just in chemistry, but in their mindset as well, like the way that they think. And I think that's where a lot of us started. That's where I'm at as well. Like I saw this need out there that, man, students, they need to have those fundamentals and those foundational things before we start diving into math or test prep or chemistry. And so I'm just curious, to all of you guys that are watching right now, drop a 1 in the comments if you are one of those teachers that you're seeing the need out there, and maybe you're not able to meet that need where you currently are in the school system, but maybe you're like, I want to go ahead and create my own programs. I want to be able to adapt those to have the mindset, trainings that are in there. I want to be able to go ahead and charge what I'm worth and to be able to find my own students. Guys, drop a 1 down there, because I think that that's where a lot of us started, Graeme, where we're just like, we're frustrated with this, right? And I want to go ahead and create more of an impact on my side. And so Guys, as you guys are watching this and you're like, hey, that could be me for sure. Like, and you guys want to go ahead and start investigating a little bit around, hey, is this the right choice for me? Because I know, Graeme, you said it just a second ago. You're like, I got to take action. I can't just keep sitting on my hands all day, every day. I want to actually go ahead and start moving this process forward. And so, Graeme, I want to kind of lead us back to kind of right after you decided, hey, I'm leaving the classroom. I'm starting my own thing. I'm going to figure this out, because it just sounds like you got that drive for the innovation, right? I want to go ahead and get away maybe from the pencil and paper. I want to start using some different systems. Where were you in the development of your business before you kind of hooked up with us and jumped into the SOD program? Like, what were you battling against? What was like the big barrier that was kind of stopping you at that point that kind of made you want to jump?
Guesswork. I just didn't know what to do. I mean, honestly, I'm riding the tube at a 45-minute train ride every day, in and out. And I'm sitting there, looking at my iPhone, and I'm just thinking, there's got to be some way that, I mean, seriously, some way that I could help out the students. And, but it was just hazy. I mean, I didn't know what to do. And to me, it was like too much of a jump from like the comfort zone, well, I'll just stay where I am. I'll sign up for one more year. Why not? Taking this like jump into like the unknown where you go, but then I saw Elliot's ad, and I watched his video, and, I read his testimonials. I mean, I really investigated. I thought, okay, let me like think about it. But then I was thinking about it, and there was just something that Elliot was doing that just resonated with me. It just clicked, there was this like vibe going on. And I thought, right, so, thought about it some more. And then I made the jump. I said, I'm going to do this because, I'm riding the tube in and out, and I see everybody looking at the phone, all right, and the scrolling up and down the Facebook. And I thought, okay, right. And then if you look out through the windows on the train, you see all the houses going by. What came by is this, is the thought that, what? There's people out there in those houses that I could help. And I got to find some way of reaching out to them. And the answer was, and it just like hit me, online. And I thought, hey, I like working online. I like technology. And so what I did is I took a step into fear, and I filled out the form, and I got an appointment set up with one of Elliot's teams, and it was Rob. I think it was Rob that I spoke to first off. And I mean, by the end of the call, we were just resonating, because what I was saying, or what Rob was saying that the program would do, I thought, oh, seriously, this is just like the Bible of success. I mean, if you follow the proven framework, how could you not get it right? And I thought, well, I like doing hard work, but let's do hard work and follow a framework. And so this is what I did. And after that, I was in.
Well, I love what you were saying, Graeme, because I was looking at the comments here, and, Marie had a great comment. She said, man, 1 to 22 years in the classroom, and I'm watching students not growing, but curriculums are changing, tests are changing. But the main thing, like, kids aren't growing. And like you said, you were riding the tube, and you're like, there are kids out in those houses right now that are struggling, that are stressed, that are frustrated because they're not seeing the progress that they want. And guess what? Their parents are frustrated because their kids are frustrated. And we haven't done anything. We haven't taken any action to actually put ourselves in front of those parents to say, I got you. Don't worry. We got the solution right here. It's so interesting that you were riding the tube thinking about starting your own tutoring business. And I was on a plane every single week, all for like a year. And I was like, what if I could? What if I could start that business? Like, what if I just quit this other job and jumped? And it took me a year, Graeme, of looking at the same quote over and over and over again. It was a Tony Robbins quote that said, if you want to take the island, you got to burn the boats. And I was just like, yes. Finally, I remember that moment on that flight where I was like, I'm done. I'm sick and tired of this. And I wrote my resignation letter as soon as I landed, turned it in, and started my tutoring business. And like, I connect so much hearing about you riding the tube and being like, I can help those people. And so, guys, to everybody that's watching right now, that might be you. You might be sitting there right now saying, there's something inside me that needs to come out. There is something that I can help kids with. When you see or think about them, they're in tears over math or they're in tears over chemistry because they just feel like they can't get it, or that they're slow, or that they feel dumb. Like that's what Graeme and I are talking about right now, is like the impact that each and every one of you guys can have is one step away. But Graeme, you said it so clearly, man. We had to take that first step into the unknown, into the fear of like, where am I going to go? But guys, the best stories start with that like jump to say, you know what, I'm going to investigate. Because I don't know if you've ever heard this, Graeme. It's not about seeing the entire path. It's about seeing 10 feet out in front of your headlights, like in the car, right? And that's what makes the drive really, really cool. So, fast forward a little bit, Graeme, you had your call with Rob. You're like, oh my God, this plan is there. What was your experience like right off the bat when you first got in? Because I know you've gone through some phases, and I want to make sure we touch on those individual phases. But when you first got into the program and you saw that plan, how was that for you? Did you start running? Did you start building connections with other people in the program?
I think it was exciting. For me, it was exciting. And then, what I liked about the plan was that, Elliot is just like, it's like he's chunked it down to these individual steps. And, I'm just like, I'm a chemistry teacher. It's like, so you do this bit, and then you do this bit, and then you do this bit, and you start building it out. But having said that, I did reach out to the coaches, and I did reach out to the other members of the group that I was in, because it's all about networking, and it's all about this like hive mentality, I mean, you may be thinking, oh, well, how do I solve this problem? And then, you put it into the group and someone else goes, well, hey, actually, this is how I did it. Oh, brilliant one. Or, you can like hop onto a call with Mark, and Mark is brilliant. Just like, if there's an issue there, Mark can solve it. And so you say, look, Mark, I'm on this, and how do you do it? And say, it's just this and this. And you go, oh, to save myself hours of time. Or, I mean, or you go to like the sales calls with Rob, who's like brilliant at it. I mean, and quite honestly, you sit there and it's like, you just bring your sales call to him and he'll analyze and break it down. But what I liked about it was like the level of organization. So first off, there's videos for you to watch because I'm a video guy. And then there's like the lesson summaries that you can watch, like the lesson walkthroughs. And then after that, you can reach out to the coaches and get the help that you need. And then you just put yourself on a plan and you say, I'm going to do this today, and then this bit tomorrow, and like this bit. And then you just keep on building it out. It's this consistent every day. You just got like, get in there and do a bit on the business, and you keep on building out. And then before you know it, you get this like momentum going. And then it's like really exciting times because now you can actually start to see it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love that. And, I'm looking at everybody that's on the chat right now, Marie, Kevin, Bernard. And I know there's a lot of people that haven't jumped into the chat yet, but we got about 30 people watching this right now. And I want you guys to all realize that this isn't something you jump from a stalled position to 120 miles an hour in your car, right? Like Graeme said, when you first come in, you got the excitement, you got the energy. And what we have to do is say, you know what? I'm going to start doing those little things. And over time, those little things start adding up. And we always say here, guys, small hinges swing big doors, right? You start doing those little things, and all of a sudden you start seeing the snowball rolling down the hill, and it starts picking up more and more steam. And all of a sudden you're getting an avalanche started, which is really, really cool. Marie said, and I want to kind of get your take on this, Graeme. She said, my husband's been working from home since COVID. I stand in the hall during transitions thinking my skills are not being used to their best ability. I'm being wasted with mundane classroom stuff, and I'm not teaching. What would you say to her? Like if you're not being utilized, maybe her gift is teaching. Like, do you feel like, man, I'm learning how to do business. I'm learning how to teach. Like, are you in your zone now?
Oh, definitely. I mean, my comment to Marie would be, there comes a time when you draw the line in the sand, Marie, and you say, you know what, enough is enough. I mean, you know what your skills are, you know what your strengths are, and more importantly, you know what you want to become, like the identity of the person that you want to become. Like you could learn this skill or you could do this skill. And so, yeah, what I would say is when the time is right, take the leap. As Kyle said, burn the bridge and then start utilizing your skills in a better way, because I believe that, technology is a great equalizer when it comes to education. This is like the one thing I was talking about today on my Facebook Live. It's like, yeah, we're actually lucky enough to be like living in the George Jetson era, when quite honestly, Kyle and I are about 4,000 miles away from each other, and we're just having because we're on like the video conferencing. So, like the COVID was really sad what happened, but what came out of it was the idea that, hey, here's a technology that we can use. And so this is what I would say, just go with it. Take the plunge, the time's right, and just go with it.
I love it. Love it. Well, Graeme, what I want to do, man, because your story really is about grit and determination and about saying, you know what, I'm not going to stop. Right. I don't care if there's a barrier in front of me. I don't care if there's a wall. I'm going to figure out how to go over it, under it, around it, blow it up. I'm going to do what they tell me to do. And I'm pumped, man, because your persistence is one of the coolest things. Juanita, who's one of the other coaches, guys, she called it dope. It was dope to watch you do that. Okay. I want you to understand, because that's straight, Juanita talking and just saying that. But for you to go out and say, you know what, I'm figuring this marketing stuff out. I'm figuring this sales stuff out. I am going to earn 10K months. And you are, man. I'm starting to see that work out. You're starting to build a team and bring on setters and other team members, start stretching out the workload so it's not all on your shoulders, right? You're starting to think like a business owner, man. But what I want everybody in this call to understand is that Graeme saw the vision and he kept his eyes on the vision. And I don't care, excuses, complaints, Graeme, you kept it like dialed in and you said, I know it's just a question of when, not a question of if I can make it, right? I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to get there. But I really want to hear it from you because I think so many people can gain so much from you about learning about that roller coaster ride and understanding, it's not all about celebrating at the top. It's about saying, hey, I'm at the bottom of a valley right now. How do I keep pushing? How do I connect to the team? How do I ask for support? Can you fill us in on that? Because I think that's the mind battles that nobody really talks about. Can you talk us through that, what you went through?
Yeah. I mean, to me, it was this. I had a really clear vision of what I wanted to do with my company. And it's simple, it's a solopreneur tutorship, and then it's an agency, and then it's a charity. And these are the three things that just like, in my mind, I keep on thinking, right, I'm a solopreneur, then I got to build it up to be in an agency, and then I could build it to be a charity, because this is what resonates with me. But once you got the vision, what happens is that your identity like swings over and you start thinking, yeah, actually, I am a businessman, right? I'm starting to think like a business. And so, all right, now I got to tell you, audience, right, you've got to dial in to Kyle's Motivational Mondays, because this is where you'll learn this stuff. All right. I think I've been to every one of Kyle's Motivational
You've been
Mondays.
Consistent, man. Every week you are there and we have
every week I am there front row with pen and paper out. Yeah. But then what happens is that, because you got this identity that you are a businessman or a businesswoman, what happens is that your beliefs start to swing over and then you start to believe it. And then, you do go through this. Oh, you go through this idea of like imposter syndrome. I can't do it, limiting beliefs. And then this is what Kyle's really great at, is he'll come in there and like help you go, do you really think that? I mean, and you go, well, actually, now you say it, like the way you say it like that, it's a bit silly, isn't it? And it's like, and so you don't. And so it just like slides over. Then your behaviors come in. But so what I did, and it took me I think a year, Kyle, to get this, was like this complete alignment between vision, identity, beliefs, and values and behaviors, right down. But
Mhm.
if I may say, the one thing that kept me going is this one. The one is just the number one. If anybody said to me, what is that keeps you going, is just like the number one. So can I talk about this one?
Yeah, share
I
away.
mean, yeah, we've all got these big goals, like the 10x goals and everything else. But when it comes down to it, it's just consistent behavior. You got to hit it every day. And so what I do is I say, on my planning session on the weekend, like a Sunday afternoon, is this: what is the one thing that I can do next week that's going to go spike the needle, like Brenda Bouchard would say, in my business? And, once you get like the one thing that you can work on, well, then after that, I mean, and to be honest, when I started out, my business plan was really hazy. I didn't know what I was doing, but it starts to come into focus. So you look at the one system. And then the one thing that I did is that somebody told me this, a coach told me this: you make the most progress in your business when you do the one thing that you fear the most, not the low hanging fruit, not the, this bit, I'll just do this because if I do this, I can say that I've done it. It's like, no, the one thing that you fear the most, and like the one area of the business that you know that you need to work on. And then I just say, you got to make 1% improvement. Now, Dalton's a mathematician, I think he's making math. I mean, she told me it's like, after like 90 days, it's like 37 times improvement. That's all I do. It's like 1% improvement in one area to the one thing that I fear the most. And this is kind of what led me to the growth. But then you just check it off.
Ask yourself, what was that one thing? Because I'm going to ask everybody else in the chat as well. Drop in your one thing that you're nervous about. Are you nervous about teaching in groups? Are you nervous about sales? Are you nervous about doing video? Let us know in the chat, guys. Graeme, what was yours? What was your one thing that you were like, I'm going to just push this under the rug for a while? But when you came into SOD, you started to attack it. What was that thing for you?
Being on video was one thing. Yeah, because it's kind of like this, Kyle. I was so used to standing in front of the classroom talking about chemistry for 28 years. I mean, that's easy. But all of a sudden, here I was on video, like my first SAS video that I did. I think, honestly, it took me 3 hours to get it right because I did so many cuts on it. It's unbelievable. And then I worked with the video editor.
I remember that.
But yeah, I mean, it's just like, but you have to grow into it because you realize that this is like a new identity that I got to take on. I mean, I've got to be good at video. And so to me, the thought going through my mind was, well, do I have like the right gear? Do I sound professional? What am I going to talk about? Should I use a script?
Does any of that matter?
No, because what I realized was the parents, they just want to have a conversation with you.
Yep.
And so, I've been following Dalton's organic marketing plan, which you haven't done, by the way, is brilliant. And it's just like, if I may say, Kyle, my organic outreach on Instagram has increased by 9,000%, on Facebook by 50%.
You've been hitting it the entire time and hitting all of those things. And so you can see where the difference, like the amount of rubber hitting the road with you, Graeme, you've taken it to that next level. And you know what? Action leads to opportunity, which leads to abundance, right?
Exactly.
You started it with belief, then action, then opportunity, then abundance. You guys did not catch that. Those are the 4 stages to where you want to go. Can't just start taking action if you don't believe it in the first place that you can do this. I see in the comments here, David Phillips, Graeme, he said, the thing that I'm most nervous about is marketing. Right? Because we're all teachers, we're all educators. We've been up in front of a class, but when it comes to talking about our programs, talking about what makes us different, David, you're in the same boat as all of us, man. When we first started, we didn't know how to do it either. And Graeme, you talk about your SAS video being the first one. I sounded like a robot the first time. I was like, hello, like, welcome to today's video. Like, it was terrible. It was terrible. And I still remember Stephanie Newman, Lori, we would all send videos back and forth and they were terrible, right? But that's how we got started. And that's how you jumped in as well. A few more comments in here. Marie says, definitely video. So thanks guys for engaging here and letting us know. David Forster says, mine was posting my first ad on Facebook. but I was also very nervous about my first virtual lesson. What if the technology failed? Yeah, there's a lot of concerns there as well. What's going on, Steph, Anna? Yeah, glad you guys could be on here today. Yeah, it's about pushing into that thing that you are afraid of the most, Graeme. I'm so excited that you said that and that one of the coaches shared that with you. It sounds like it made such a big impact on where you're at, and realizing, Graeme, is there always going to be that next thing that maybe you're afraid of that you need to step into that space to start getting training on? What do you think?
Oh yes, yeah. Because this is the quote that I live by, is this one, is that you can't have the future that you want using the mindset you have of today. And so, I mean, it's like, if you dream of this future of like, yes, what you want to do is, I want to have a tutoring, in my case, I want to have a tutoring agency and I want to have a charity and everything else. Well, then I'm not going to get that with the mindset that I've got today. So what you got to do is be really, pragmatic about it and just go, right, I need to start working on it. And you just start chipping away at the mindset and building out those skill sets that you need so that the future becomes the present. And then you forget about the past. Because something else that I believe in, Kyle, is this one, is imperfect action. I mean, yeah, all my videos that I did, my daily Facebook lives, they're not perfect. But you know what? Every day I show up and I just said to myself, did you show up? Check mark.
Yeah,
yes.
that's it. Just show
you
up.
were successful at it. Because I mean, you just got to build it out. But if you wait until like it's perfect, well, then you kind of like miss the opportunity, because we've all moved on, and then you have like your perfect like lead magnet or video, but it's like, well, yeah, that was like then in the past, wasn't it? And I just keep going back to the idea that parents, they just want you to be able to understand they're coming from.
Just want you to know that you got their back, that you understand where they're coming from. And same thing, I always think about information without implementation leads to frustration, right?
Right.
It's like, oh yeah, I got to watch all this stuff and make sure that it's perfect. And it's like, no, implement, go. You all want progress, right? That's the thing that makes us happy in the long run, is, are we moving the needle where we want to go? And I saw a lot of people, Steph Bernier, I think is her last name. She said, self-doubt versus jumping in and taking action. Yeah, happy to hear that others struggle with this and push forward anyways. Yeah, Steph, people always ask, they're like, how did you get to that point? Graeme, how did you get to that point? How did you become this entrepreneur and this fighter? How did you become the like elite fighter? Well, guess what? We had to put ourselves in a fight in order to learn how to fight, right? And if you're just sitting on the couch, not building a business, well, guess what? You're not going to learn those skills. You're not going to learn how to adapt and how to be flexible, how to persevere moving forward. And that's what this program does. It's like, it's the pathway, call it initiation, Steph, to say, yeah, I want to be up there. Cool. We're going to go ahead and get it working. So guys, let us know in the comments if you guys have questions. I would love to go ahead and open this up. While we're waiting for those to come in, Graeme, I know that you've taken that next step. Can you kind of fill us in on SOD Elite, what comes with that, and like that next stage that you're moving into right now?
Oh, yes. Yeah. All right, so the SOD is good, but you do reach a point where you need to like level up. And so you've always got to be leveling up your skills. And so with the SOD Elite, it's really cool because you get to sit down with Elliot and like other people, who are also climbing up the ranks. And, you just get what it is, Kyle, is that, yes, there are resources that Elliot's provided, like the SOD Elite, like advanced organic, marketing skills, advanced paid marketing skills, strategies that you can use. But the big thing is the mindset.
Yeah.
Because what he's really pushing is the mindset. Again, you got to have like the mindset of the person, like the next level up, in order for you to climb up. Like you can't possibly get to the next level using the mindset that you've got. So what I recommend the SOD Elite, well, exactly, awesomely, it's like I recommend the SOD program and I recommend the SOD Elite because, to me, it has saved me so much time because what I'm doing is I know I'm following a proven framework. When I'm in the SOD Elite, I'm working with people that are one step ahead of me. And of course, knowing your mind, go, well, hold on, if they could do it, then I could do it.
Yep.
And of course, then you've got the proven framework where you could put the time in and the effort, and you just start climbing the rungs of the ladder of success.
Yep.
So absolutely.
I talked about this on the call we had for the group earlier, proximity, right? When you put yourself around other people that are thinking bigger, that are thinking differently, that are saying, Kyle, why are you holding yourself back, man? You got to change that limiting belief. You start getting rid of some of those barriers that are in your way internally. It's crazy. David, you might be sitting there having some fears or some worries. Maxine, same thing. Steph, you guys might have some doubts and some fears, but you know what? Being able to say, I'm going to put myself with a group of people that are all going somewhere. I know that this is something that comes up a lot. And maybe guys, you guys watching this, you might think, well, if I get into a group with other tutors, I'm going to be in competition with them and I'm going to be fighting with them for students. And we have this negative connotation around that, but I'm here to tell you, this is all collaboration. This is all about saying, we're going there together. We're helping all these students. Graeme, do you think we're fighting over students, or is there a big blue ocean out there that there's enough students to help because the world needs it? I know that.
Absolutely. Because what Elliot has done is the difference between like the red ocean and the blue ocean, so if you're tutoring and you're just doing an hourly rate, then yet you are competing what I call like the race to the bottom. It's like being on Amazon, and it's like someone can always do it cheaper than you can. All right. But on the other hand, after you move forward and you enroll in Elliot's program, you're then in the blue ocean, and the blue ocean is this beautiful, vast, blue, clear ocean. And you're just like floating along, and you can do whatever you want to do because everybody has their own take on their company and what they think that how they can best serve these students. And there's plenty of students out there. There's an entire world. I mean, you're thinking, we're on video, folks. We're on videos. It's just not like, oh, I'm in London. I can only do like the people around my little suburb of London. No, we're on video. And so, I've had students from like Dubai. I mean, so it's kind of like the world is your oyster, because what you're doing is that you're putting a program together that aligns with your beliefs and your vision and your identity. And there's plenty of students go along around. But the thing is that you can learn from other people who are in the same niche as you are. I mean, there's A-level chemistry teachers in the same program that I'm in, and we all learn off each other. We're all exchanging ideas because we all know there's so many students out there that we can work with.
Graeme, how are you doing your marketing? How are you doing sales? Like, we're always asking each other, guys, like, hey, Can I level up? How can I go ahead and reach that level of success too? And so, I'm just seeing everybody's really vibing with a lot of the things that you've said so far, Graeme, just being able to like get them in the right frame of mind moving forward. For everybody that's watching and anybody that's watching the recording a little bit later, Graeme, what piece of advice would you tell somebody that maybe they're sitting there saying, man, I wish I could go ahead and start that? What advice would you give to them if they're just kind of on that fence? They're stuck. They want to go ahead and get to this different place. What advice would you give them to say, hey, it's time to go. It's time to go ahead and cut ties. What would you tell them? I
would say to them, and in fact, I was talking to my parents about this the other day in my Facebook group, is this one. Look, there's action takers and there's thinkers. The action taker is the one that, when they see all the information in front of them, what they do is they take action and they grab the opportunity right there and they don't bother looking back. On the other hand, the thinker is the person that, I got to think about it, give me a few days, whatever. What happens is that the opportunity vanishes like a mist. And then they're the ones that live the life of regret, because then they go, you know what? I wish I'd done that. I wish maybe I could have done that. And you know what? We're all teachers. It's like this. The some holiday rolls around, and then all of a sudden you think, oh yeah, great, got a few weeks off, and then all of a sudden you're back in the daily grind, and you're thinking, yeah, I wish I had done something. I wish I'd taken action when the opportunity was there, because time goes by quickly. Yep. And so my advice would be this. My advice would be simple: enroll in the program. I mean, take action today, just like sign up on the enrollment call. You'll have a call with a team member from the SOD program. All right. And then, you know, you can just have a chat, like a conversation, and they'll talk to you about it and just see, like, you know, is this an option that's a good fit? And then, you know, once you've done that and you've enrolled in the program, I can tell you right now, you'll have so much fun. I have had so much fun doing this program. I recommend it to everybody because I can say, as a businessman now, as compared to like what I was last year I wasn't a businessman. This year I am. If I just look at my own personal development and my own professional development now as compared to last year, it's like light years ahead. And so I don't live a life of regret. I live a life of opportunity, because now what I'm looking for is I'm looking for the wins. I'm looking for like the next thing that's going to come down, because like you said, Cal, you start to build momentum and all of a sudden you find yourself in a world with the designer life where you're actually living the life that you designed, not living the life that somebody else designed for you. Yep. And it's just like really just exciting time to be in. So 100%.
Love it. 100%. Great advice, Graeme. Guys, if you guys have any questions for Graeme or myself, you want to learn anything, you know, you got questions based off anything we talked about or other things, drop them in the comments section. We're here for the next 5 to 7 to 10 minutes just to get those answered for you. And I love what you said, Graeme, because you're like, you know what? Go, commit 100%. Because I think a lot of people, they think about decisions as, what am I losing, right? Did I have to make an investment? Am I losing time, right? Rather than thinking the other side of the coin, what am I gaining, right? Am I gaining the ability to control my income? Am I gaining the ability to control my time? Am I able to go ahead and basically manage myself? I don't have anybody telling me, you know, what to do. I don't have a boss, right? Am I able to go ahead and take time off to go see my kids, you know, for that day or whatever it is? I can control my schedule. And that's how I've always thought about it too, is like, what am I gaining by jumping in? I remember that when I jumped in 2.5 years ago, Graeme, I filled out the form, had a call with Elliot the next day. He's like, this is what it is. I'm like, great, get me signed up. And we were off to the races, right? And that was the best thing I ever did. It changed my entire scope of my life and where my wife and I are. And I'm sitting right now in my office in my house that we purchased 1.5 years ago. Never thought that that would be an option for me, right? Because I was living in this old mindset along the way. Yeah. So David, I know you wanted to ask Graeme something. Definitely go ahead and drop your question in there. Doesn't look like we have any questions yet, Graeme, but for you, kind of my last question for us, kind of wrapping up today's conversation, is what are you most excited about? Seeing this new change in yourself, seeing these new, I would say, new identities coming out, and you're starting to step into them. What are you most excited about over the next couple months?
Number one would be scaling out the business. I mean, it's exciting times. It's now, there was a mind shift change. I had a conversation with Elliot in the SOD Elite program, and yeah, what he said to me resonated. And you know, basically, it's time to like scale out. And so it's exciting times because, you know, now I'm doing things that I've never done before, like hire out a team, hire out like VAs and stuff like that. But the thing is, Kyle, I've got this confidence behind me now that I never knew that I could have. I mean, before the SOD program, if you said to me, no, seriously, Graeme, you know, you'll be running an agency, you know, you'll be hiring out team members, I'd look at you, no, seriously? I mean, you'd be on video every day doing your Facebook Lives. Like, no, really? I wouldn't have believed you. But now I kind of take it in my stride because I got this like momentum going, and it's this confidence based on the skill set that I have that I got from the program. And so number one, scaling out. Number two, just keeping on building out the personal development and the professional development. You know, I know Elliot has in one of his programs, you know, like the morning mindset and the plan like a producer. But I also believe that, I mean, every day you need to feed the mind. I mean, I don't care if you're reading a book or if you're just like, you know, watching a training video on something which is like an area that you know that you need to improve. Keep it up. Do the 1% thing every day. and it will just build out. So
Yep.
to me, I'm just excited about what like tomorrow's going to bring. I can't wait.
Well, we're excited for you. Like I said, myself, the entire team, Elliot himself, we're just so thrilled to see you continuing to push forward. And as you come to those new barriers and different setbacks, saying, yeah, I've been here before. That's where the confidence comes in. Graeme and everybody watching, is when you overcome a barrier and you push past it, you realize I did that. So when the next barrier comes up, you're like, yeah, I've already beaten the last 10 barriers. It took me a little bit longer, but you know what? Why can't I do this moving forward? Got a few questions in here, Graeme. David wanted to know, how did you scale? And I think it's I would say the question really is actually not how you scaled, but how did you build up the foundation of your business at the ground floor to say, now I'm at the opportunity where I've started to grow to scale, because you can't just jump from 0 to scale. You got to go through, and this is the hero's journey, right? Where you're just, scrapping and trying to grit your way through that, and you're following the plan. But yeah, any extra information you want to kind of add to his question?
Yeah, I mean, it was like this, David. The very first thing you got to do is that you just got to put something out there. So you have to put a course out there. You have to put like an offer out there. All right. And then you do your best with that offer. But then you're in this like dynamic feedback loop that you're always like thinking, okay, how can I improve it like the next time? And so the next time that you offer it, of course, now it's going to be better than like the previous version. And just like you build up momentum being in the program, your course builds up momentum. And so like the next time you offer it, of course, is like version 3. Now it's like even better than version 2. And so in the end, what you do is that you get a course that resonates with the parents. It solves their problems. There's so much value into it that you're thinking everybody wants it. And then you just reach this point where you go, I need to scale out so I can keep building the course up, because I got to keep everything moving, because either you evolve or you wither away and die. Yep. And so I would just say, put the course out there, run it, and then, do your best at it. The next version, you improve on it, you do it again, and eventually your course will come together so well that it will just, you'll reach this point where you do need to scale out.
Yep. Great answer. Great answer. Just to go ahead and say, hey, it's an evolutionary process along the way. So guys, I'm super pumped. Graeme, thank you for spending some time with us here today, sharing your insights. Guys, if this sounds like something that you're like, I'm tired of sitting on my hands, I want to go ahead and take action like Graeme was saying, type the word me in the comments. We'll be looking for that as a team. If you guys are, interested in chatting with somebody to see if it is a good fit, you can either type the word me, or you can click the link that I dropped into the comments. I'll drop it in there one more time. If you guys want to go ahead and do that. But again, we have an application form here, guys. We want to make sure that you are in a good position for us to actually help you. So definitely fill that out. Our team will review it to kind of see if we can go ahead and assist. But I encourage you guys to do that and just take action and say, you know what? What if I could build my business out? What am I going to gain taking the jump than if I was just sitting at home? So guys, I'm so excited to be able to have you on here. David, thanks for joining us. You're getting some love here in the comments, Graeme. Kristen, Stephanie, Elliot. Yeah, guys, let's hear it for Graeme in the comments, because Graeme, again, man, so proud of you, everything that you were able to do. And guys, if you know somebody that this video might help, definitely go ahead and share that with them. We want to spread these messages out as far as possible and let people know this is reality. These are things that can actually happen. It's not just, hey, this one person's getting success with it. No, we have a proven history of helping people. So guys, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Graeme, thank you so much for jumping on with us. And guys, hope you guys have a great week. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Take care.
What's up, man? Great job.
Woo. Oh, thank you.
I've been looking forward to this chat for a really long time, man. I know we had to push it off a couple times, but yeah.
My earbuds in now. Hold on.
I'm just super proud of you. Super proud of you, because you went the distance, man. You've been going the distance. You've been rocked a few times here and there.
Yeah.
And just like, you know what? I'm going to keep battling and I'm going to take some punches. And then you counter and you said, yeah, I'm going in, all in. That's what it takes, man. Like the opportunity
Yeah.
because you took all the action was there, and just to see you cashing in on it, I'm just thrilled.
Oh, thanks.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. And I just can't wait
Appreciate
to
that.
see where you take it next, man. I know you're an SOD elite now, and
I'm an
being
SOD
able to
elite.
say,
I've hired my VA.
yep,
My first VA, I actually did my first interview process, and then I hired my first VA. And
nice.
oh no, she's awesome. And I had my first training session with her, And so yeah, now the next one is to take a step forward and get a setter in, because I've got some leads coming in now. The VA that I've got is good, but I think I do need a bit more support with the leads coming in.
Yeah.
And then after that is just build up the agency. The summertime I'm putting courses together, and then in the fall, it's going to be rebranded slightly, and I'll be doing A-level chemistry and GCSE, and I'll be hiring tutors and everything else. But no, it is seriously, I'm having so much fun doing this. It just
Awesome.
aligns with
I like to
me.
hear.
It just aligns with me. The technology bit, and just the quality teaching and tutoring and everything just coming together. Oh, it's just seriously awesome, dude.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
man, thank you so much for taking the time.
This one was going down. Even if I had to go fly down to Ohio, I would be in a rowboat.
Fill me in real quick. So just one person was messaging you about that, or what happened?
He sent this really, I mean, I can send you the stuff that he sent, but quite honestly, it's you really shouldn't do this interview because, I got to hear, hold on. Basically he was saying that I shouldn't do this interview because I'm fake. He's checked out my business page. I don't have enough social media to be able to do this. So these claims are just false. There's no evidence for it. And then he's saying Elliot is under investigation, by the HMRC. And he's just gonna screw you over, because if you do stuff say how much money you make, unless you're reporting everything to the tax people, the tax man is going to come for you. And I'm thinking, what I thought, Kyle? I thought, what a load of.
Yep.
And I thought, no, seriously, you little tiny man, not you, the person, you little tiny man. If you want to know, I thought, I've been bullied all of my life, right? And it really just wound me up, because I thought, I've been bullied all of my life, and you think I'm going to be bullied getting onto this call with Kyle? You got another thing coming. Honestly. And I'm just
thank you for pushing through that and let it affect you, because there's been a few people that maybe have not done the work, have not put in the effort, have not pushed through the barriers, and they're like, this is all fake. And I'm like, guys, there's a track record of people that are moving in this direction. I can't make this stuff up. I can't just keep materializing people out of the woodwork that are there. I can see it if I was the only one talking about it, right?
Yeah.
Or if we were still saying, hey, Tutu's the only person that's ever gotten results ever, right? No.
I just thought that he was a disgruntled person that bought the program and didn't put the effort in. And I just thought to myself, what? It's
not worth your time, man. You got way too many more important things to be building in your business and yourself, and just keep doing what you're doing. Like I said, the whole team is just thrilled with what you've been able to do, and we're here to help you every step of the way. Okay.
Awesome. Hey, can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Tomorrow, the SOD Elite, is it at 4 o'clock, or is it moved back to 3? Because I'm getting so confused the time zone thing, man.
This is the last week. I know it's a pain in the butt.
I'll admit that I missed the meeting today, because you know what? I thought, oh, hold on.
No, the
time zone changed. Oh man,
that one was weird, because I was planning on doing it at 9 a.m. my time, and then Elliot booked Duncan in and told me 8 a.m. and then I was like, I'm just gonna do what you said. So definitely catch the replay. It was great talking about the book Profit First and how you can make sure your finances are in order. That'd be great.
Definitely catch it, because your time is golden. Some conversations are worth paying for. In my calendar, it's at 4 o'clock. So I'll just but I don't want to miss it.
Yeah, I'm trying to get in.
But no, that guy, he just I thought, let him be. He's just, how I flipped it in my mind was this. It's he is the reason why I am moving forward. And so he actually gave me the energy to keep on moving forward. Because I'm going, and I'm just going to move forward. I help out all these students, and it's just going to be seriously awesome.
Yep.
All right,
I
Kyle.
agree, man. Thank
All
you
right.
for joining us and jumping on. Yeah, it is 4 p.m. your time tomorrow.
Awesome. All right. I'll catch you in school. All right.
All right. Talk to you later, Graeme. Have a great day.